Hey everybody, welcome to a Facebook Live that I've actually been wanting to do for quite some time. And the reason why is because we've worked with over 8,000 direct sellers, network marketers, and we see the same mistakes happening over and over and over again. And it's not really your fault, it's because what you're doing is you're starting something new. So what we want to do is we want to take Facebook ads and help you significantly by going through these mistakes. I want to simplify the process. So many of our members, they come to us and they're so confused. There's so many choices. Just deciding what kind of an ad to run is absolutely huge, right? Well, let's simplify even that. I want to take the world of Facebook advertising down to the very few things that you need to do right, mistake-free, to have the best chance to have a very low-cost ad campaign producing quite well for you. So as you come on, if you wouldn't mind just posting in a hello and where you're at today, and there's going to be some times we're going to ask some questions of you. We'll be a little bit interactive as we get started here. But I just have to say I'm a little shaken as I come on to the Facebook Live. Right before I came here to get on, I was taking care of some new kittens that we have in our family. And one looked like it was the runt. It had, kind of crusties on its eye every morning. You had to cut off, or you had not cut off, you had to wipe off. And it just was lethargic. We had bought additional nutritional kitten milk to feed it. And my wife and kids went out of town for a day or two. I'm taking care of the cats. And what happens this morning? It's passed away. And so I'm on the phone with crying kids and my wife, and so it's unfortunate, right? But that happened right before here. But you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to launch right in here because we've got just such a fantastic opportunity to really be getting you some better performance by knowing what to do and knowing the top mistakes to avoid. So what I want to do is I want to start right out. Well, Elena, hello. Katrina, hello. Pamela, hello. Keep coming in, you guys, saying hello. Give me a smiley face or a like just to let me know that you're engaged here. And I want you to take some notes today because what I'm going to go over is something that seems intuitive as I'm going through it. But I guarantee you're going to learn some steps that you're not going through. Even though we have this all laid out in the fast track steps in the university, what I'm going to talk about is how those steps and what you should be doing, some of the fundamentals, are not actually being adhered to, all right? So let me just start out with, there are 3 types of Facebook ads that I want you to run, okay? And here are the 3 types. I want you to run, and they're all boosted posts. So when we talk about an ad format, I want you to do one thing and one thing only. I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to worry about remarketing ads, conversion ads, link ads, lead conversion ads. I want you to run 3 different kinds of ads on your page. The first one is for an offer. We have a very specific template in the university for that. And it's a boosted post. So you just put up a post and you boost it, but it has an offer for your business. And I'm going to talk a lot about that kind of an ad today, the mistakes that are made. The second one is, and this is the one that we recommend that you start with, this is a like ad to get new likes onto your page. You can start from scratch on any of these. But what happens with a like campaign is it's easy to test. It's easy to get in there and test things like your audience. It's easy to test the promise that you're making from your brand to who you're reaching out to, your customer avatar. It's easy to tweak it, and it's easy to do it with just $1 or $2 a day. So one of the things that we want you to get right is your audience, and I'm going to talk about that. That's one of the biggest areas that you make mistakes in, okay? So what was the first one? Go right down below. It was an offer ad, right? An offer. Go ahead and write that down below. And then the second one, are you ready? Write this into the comments area because when you write things down, it reinforces as a like ad, okay? Thank you. Oh, join Mary, Dana, glad to see you on here. The third one is a normal post that you boost. It doesn't have an offer in it. It's not a like ad, but the goal is to get people to comment down below. And the reason why is because now you can actually send a message to people directly that comment on your Facebook pages, post or boosted posts. So when you send them a message and they open it up and they interact with it in any way, they become a subscriber of your page. You can message with them back and forth anytime that you want. So these are great. Just asking simple questions with people answering it very simply down below in the comments. We've seen these kind of posts, right? But it's a great way to get into one-on-one conversations. So those are the three kinds of ads. I call them ads because they're boosted posts or a like campaign. Now you fill in, right, with just your regular post that you're putting on, adding value to your niche. But what we have is constant confusion on what do I do on my page, right? And your page is your outreach. Okay, your blog, which is your website, a blog it just has a few more, it's a website with just a few more bells and whistles, is the referral center. It's the hub of your business. But how you get out and in front of people is with your Facebook page and these low-cost boosted posts and like ads. Okay, so now here is, I'm going to start going over what are the biggest mistakes that I see. Here's the number one. And I wrote it into the promotions for this, so if you saw any of that, I called it the relationship factor, okay? Now, here's the thing that a lot of us don't get. Like ad, boosted post, I got it, Katrina. There was the other one, right? There was a boosted post for an offer and a boosted post to get people to comment. All right, so here's what happens, though. You have to realize that you're the brand. Right? When anybody's going to take the next step, action steps with you in your business, they're going to take action, but guess what? They have to have trust in you to begin with. So we all think about the corporate office as our brand, but it's not. It is a huge resource tool for us, and it certainly bolsters us, right, with trust and credibility when we bring in the products, but you don't lead with a product sell. Right? What you're going to do is you want to make sure that people are getting that you are just like them. Your brand and the people that you reach out to, your customer niche, and this is what I say over and over again, but I have so many people that forget this, you reach out to people who are just like you, because then they look at you with trust and credibility from the beginning. They look at you as an insider and forming relationships, that relationship factor, which can be really awkward. It can be, you know, it's icky when you're trying to meet people that you've never met before and just strike up conversations. You have nothing really in common with them. Right? You've all been there, right? That goes away when you attract people online to you who are just like you, okay? So what I don't see happening is you in these various forms of ads. If you are the brand, if you are the one that they have to have trust and credibility in, then I want to see your face. I want to see you. I want to learn about you. That's how you build trust, because talking about you, they look at it and they go, yep, that's just like me, right? So you are the most important asset you have in your business. And I see it time and time again, void from the posts, the ads that you put up on your pages. I want you to be front and center. People want to do business with other people, not faceless corporations. You're an individual. You're promising a one-on-one relationship, right? And you're going to work with these people one-on-one. So why would you hide you, right? And I know people have a lot of phobia about, doing like these Facebook Lives, even putting themselves up and on social media and pictures of themselves. And you know what? You just have to be real. You just have to be authentic. Give people a picture, people something about you that they can look at and make that connection. So what was really interesting is I planned this Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago. And just this morning in one of my private Facebook groups, I had somebody that was doing exactly this. They joined the university and they already had some stuff up and going, and they were like, hey, can you take a look? Here's a post. Here's a boosted post. It got a lot of likes, but I'm not getting any leads out of this. And I said, well, have you gone through the fast track steps? Person hadn't gone through the fast track steps. And when I clicked onto the link itself to look at the boosted post, there was no picture of them. There was no mention of them. They reach out to recovering alcoholics that suffer from stress and anxiety. A really great niche. Fantastic niche. I couldn't tell who it was for by looking at the ad, by reading the ad, looking at the image. I couldn't tell. It was really motivating about picking yourself up and, personal development, kind of a focus, which we're all big on, right? But I couldn't tell who the ad was for. I couldn't see the person who was offering the ad. There was nothing personal about it. On her story, it was generic, but it was very well written. It was motivating, right? Which is why I was getting some of those likes. And then I said, well, that's a big mistake, because when people are flipping through their news feed, right, on their phones, you got your phone here, what do? You're just flipping through it, right? And most of what's in the news feed is junk, right? It's kind of like when you get mail in your mailbox. And what do? You take the big stack. The first thing you do is you try to, boom, check the things that are just junk mail. So you don't have to weed through all of that and spend time on it. The news feed's kind of like that. You're going through and through and through until something catches your attention. Well, I want you in the newsfeed at the top of your post that you're boosting out to call out your target market niche. We have music teachers reaching out to other music teachers, and they'll start out and say, hey, music teachers, or police officers reaching out to other police officers, and they'll say, hey, first-time responders, right? So I want you to give people in the newsfeed a reason to know this post is for them. I want you to give them a reason that they know it's for them and it's from somebody just like them. And that they can see, they can identify with that person. They learn something personal about you that not only proves that you're an insider and just like them, but then leads to trust and credibility. So what were the two factors that I just mentioned? If anybody can do that, what were they? Oh, Monica, you just joined. Hey, fantastic. Here are the two factors. You have to give people a reason to understand that that post is for them. You have to give them a reason to believe that you're just like them. And actually, there was the third. And you have to give them a reason to look at, see, and connect with you personally. So bottom line is, I want you to make sure those three factors are all in there. That is what I call the relationship factor. If you're missing those, then you're missing the boat, okay? Now, here's another one that I put out into my post about this in the emails. I call it the audience oversight factor, okay? Now, what does that mean? Well, the bottom line here, oh, by the way, is this making sense? If it's making sense, give me some likes, give me some kind of comments there so that I know that this is making sense here, because these are things that I see missing. And like I said, we've worked with over 8,000 direct sellers, network marketers, and I see this missing all the time. All right, thank you much. So here's what we're going to do. Audience oversight. You could do everything around Facebook ads exactly right. And if you miss this one thing, it's all going to be for naught, right? It's your audience. Your audience. So the bottom line here is, if you're not boosting that post out, and to the right people, then whatever you're saying that is proving you're an insider to a very specific group of people, and when we talk about people who are just like you, remember, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands strong online. But if you don't boost it out to those people who are your customer avatar, they're just like you, and you've got this great message, you've got a great offer, right? You're proving you're just like them, but people just like you are not seeing it. What's going to happen? Right? Your ad is going to go nowhere. So here is the number one thing that I see. In fact, I would say that minimally 9 out of 10 Facebook ad audiences that I look at, because when you become a member of the university, I promise to look at all the things that we're talking about here, personally review it for you. When I look at ad audiences, do you know what I find? I find that they're doing what I call lumping, okay? And when you go to create an ad audience, you put in your demographics, right? Age, is it male, female, and, geographics, where is this running, like all US and Canada or things like that. And then you have a section that's people who match one of these. And so people start loading it up. So I had this person today. She was talking about recovery. She had interest in recovery, the 12-step program for alcoholics, right, that were in recovery. She had stress interest in there. She had anxiety interest in there. She had stay-at-home mom interest in there. And guess what? Facebook, because it says people who match at least one of the following, can pick any one of those and show it to just mostly those people, right? So I said, look, you're trying to reach out to recovery, alcoholics that are in recovery, right, or in that process, and help them. Yet you just put in interest on stress. Well, guess what? Every adult out there is stressed today. We're all super busy, right? So you may be showing this ad to people that have nothing to do with the recovery process from alcohol or drugs. And you put stay-at-home moms in there. Not every mom is recovering from alcohol and stay-at-home drugs. So right away, no matter what you do, you are wasting any time and energy on this boosted post because you're not sending it to the right people. So what I tell everybody is, in every section, because you have to get by the demographics and that people who match at least one of the following, you can click to narrow. In the first section, only put like-minded interests or selections in there. That if Facebook showed it to any one of those, you'd be like, okay, that's all about alcohol or drug recovery. And then click narrow audience, and then there's another and must also match section that comes up. And when you get into there, now put in the stuff that's all related to like anxiety and stress. Okay. And then if you can still validate, you can still get a large enough audience size, click again, narrow down, then put in things about being a stay-at-home mom. Because then that audience has to qualify on all three of those sections. They have to be in recovery, have interest in that area. They have to have interest in anxiety and stress, and they have to have interest in being a stay-at-home mom. Do you see that? I'm telling you, I worry about people that are trying to do this on their own because I see it 9 out of 10 times. So that is the audience oversight factor, all right? I do not want you to do that wrong. You've got to get the audience right. And I'll look at it, right? And I'm going to make you a very special offer. Anybody who's not a member of the university, I'll make you an offer today to get involved in the university for $1, okay? Because I'm going to look at all of these things. You just go to practicalsocialmedia.com/$. Right, I'll just show it here because here we are, practicalsocialmedia.com/$. Today, and you can get a 10-day trial for $1. And I'll help you out with all of this. So let's keep going on these mistakes, okay? Here's another mistake. Nobody tests their ads, right? You put it all together, you put it out there, and you figure, okay, I'm going to give it my best shot. Here's the one try. Now think about it. Think about like anybody in professional sports, whether it's Olympic ice skaters or pro football players, all the time and energy they spend getting ready. How many mistakes do you think they made getting to the top? How many coaches do you think coached them along the way and said, we got to tweak this, we got to work on this area, we got to build your strength up over here, we got to build stamina over here, right? The first time you do anything, expect that you're going to have to test it. Expect that it's not going to be right. And I know I see some of the names here, right? Denise, Laura, Monica, that you're in the process of testing things. So the bottom line is here, I don't want you to feel like you're going to get a home run right out of the gate. It happens. And if you do everything right, and I look at what you're doing, and we make sure you're not making these common mistakes, your chances of success are dramatically better at the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. See the likes over there. How many people have tested? I just want you to put in yes or no into the comments right now. If I've tested my Facebook ads, put in yes. And be honest, if I haven't, put in no. And what does it mean by testing? You do different variations. Let me talk about that here for a minute. But I want you to put this into the comments, okay? So when you test, and we recommend that you start out not with all three of those ad formats that we talked about. You start out with one, right? So that you can actually no, yes, oh, fantastic. Yeah, Monica, I know you've tested. We've been working on that. So the bottom line here is I want you to test one kind of campaign. And we recommend doing a like campaign to get likes onto your Facebook page first. Because you know what happens when you get likes? They're people that, you have the right audience. And you send it out to the people who are just like you. They like your page. And then you send those people a friend request. They're more apt to accept that. They've already liked the page. You've already picked them out. They're just like you. Now they've engaged with you a second time. They've got your Facebook friend request, or you accepted your friend request. Now you can message with them one-on-one anytime. You can also put together a list off your personal profile of certain friends, put all those new fans into a friend list, and you can filter the whole news feed by these people, and you can stay in touch and engage with them based on what they're putting up. It is a fantastic prospecting and new lead generation strategy where people are coming to you. And you can also test like ads for about $1 or $2 a day. So you don't have to spend a lot of time or money on this, okay? But we want you to test one factor at a time. So when you put up an ad, and we help you get down to where you're getting under 30 cents a like, okay? But if you're not getting there, and I worked with top performers in the business that, we started out and we tweaked and we tweaked and we tweaked, and we got it to a point where now I talked to a woman yesterday. She's been running the same like ad for almost 2 years now. She hasn't touched it. She has it on autopilot. She has people coming to her daily because they like her page and they're in her exact niche audience. And she has an audience of grief, people that are going through grief, personal loss with family members. So bottom line here is this is really important stuff. So wouldn't it be worthwhile to test a little bit on a like ad that could be up and running for years? We have another woman, she has tens of thousands in her downline. It was built all off of Facebook, and she has had a like ad campaign running for, I think, 3 or 4 years now. So this stuff is worthwhile testing, okay? But I want you to test first is your message. And start out with an image. Start out with an image of you, right? So we want people to see you, all right? So do some of the things we've already talked about here so you know you're getting a good head start. But if you go ahead, when you join the university, I'll send you a link. We have a whole training on how to create really great Facebook like ads. Okay, so give you specific examples and the text and everything. But you change text, you change images, okay? Now this wasn't a like ad, but one of our best performers, a woman named Mary, and I don't know if Mary's on here or not. Well, I see a different Mary. Hi, Mary. But I'm talking about Mary Van Doren. And she had an ad that she was running, and it had been the same ad for a long time. It wasn't a like ad. It was an ad for one of her Facebook groups. And it had worked so well, and this month it didn't work that well. She put in some emoticons, changed the image, and boom, started performing. So sometimes you just have to tweak some things, all right? All right, so that's a huge area on testing. All right, if you're not testing, then you're not serious about getting good performing Facebook ads. Now, this is what I'm calling the persuasive factor, right? And it goes right into the message, what you need to say. And if you've been around the university at all, you've listened to me at all, you've heard this. But I can't tell you how many times it's devoid of what I'm reading. It's the emotional sell, right? People, we all make decisions based on emotion. So even in a very short like ad, which we want the text to be all visible. We don't want that ... see more. We want it to be all visible, right in the newsfeed when people are scrolling through it, right? But we want that message. One of the best ways that you can prove that you're an insider is to prove you understand the unmet emotional needs of your specific niche audience, okay? So we help you uncover that. We have a whole process that we work with you on the unmet emotional needs. So we want to make sure that every single ad that you create, no matter what the format, has the unmet emotional need clearly articulated. And let me give you just like an example of this. The police officer that I talked about before, Mark, his unmet emotional need is that his audience, his customer avatar, just wants to come home safe to their families at night. Does that make sense? So when he talks about that, and he talks about how that's pervasive and how his wife worries about that, right? Those are the kind of things you're like, yeah, if you're not a police officer, you probably don't even think about those things. So that's kind of an example here. Trina, hello. Lori, hello. Guys, what I want you to do, who can tell me, I think I've gone over 4 of the 5 areas. Who can put in some of the 5 areas, or the 4 areas that I've gone over already? Go ahead and put it into the comments. And if you're liking this, if you're taking lots of notes, please go ahead and give me some likes on the screen here so I can see the engagement. I'm going to open it up for some questions. I had some questions that were sent in to me beforehand as well, all right? So here's the last area. I call it the slime factor, okay? We are so excited about helping others. We're so excited about being in the business. We're so excited about sharing with other people and helping change their lives that we skip over some really important steps. And if you think about on a spectrum, okay, on a spectrum of what your ad can be, are you giving in your ad or your post, or are you selling, okay? Because what I see is you skip over the whole building a relationship factor, the message, the emotional sell, if you just skip right to selling, okay? So what we do is we have an ad template that starts off with just you empathize, right? You prove that you're just like them. You give value by validating them and their needs. And then it transitions into, how that was just like you, what you did, and what you're offering for them. It's a very specific template here. But the last thing that we want is somebody getting on the social network, on Facebook, going through the feeds to see what their friends are up to and doing, and getting interrupted by your selling ad. We don't want any of your posts to feel like a sales message. That is the kiss of death. And I see it all the time. And I'm sure a lot of you see it with people in your cross line, up line, and they're looking, and you're seeing what they're doing. And when you don't know what to do, you know what you do? You sell product. You're talking about the brand new product that's out, right? The thing about that is, though, the vast majority of people, when you boost a post out, don't know you. The very first introduction to you is not going to be a sales message. We're in a relationship business, and we have to be in a volume of new relationships. So you always have to be reaching out to a cold audience. That's why we're doing these low-cost Facebook boosted posts, right? So the last thing that you want to do is ever introduce yourself as somebody who's selling something, okay? So that's what I just want to make sure. And then the other part of this too is, I forgot this part in the message area, you've got to have something for them to do. That's why I recommended those 3 types, right? Each type has something for them to do, 3 types of ads. The offer ad, link to take advantage of that offer. That's something for them to do. The like ad, what do you want them to do? Click the like button. That's something you want them to do. What is the other one? It's the boosted post. You're trying to get them to comment, because then you can use the chatbot features that we show you how to do, very easy. Just send the message into their Facebook Messenger inbox directly. All 3 of those have a specific call to action. That same woman that I was talking about today on one of our Facebook groups who was reaching out to other recovering alcoholics, she had a really great post, very, very motivational. It wasn't targeted. I didn't get it was for recovering alcoholics. I didn't show her, but also it didn't have any call to action. It didn't, and not every post you want to have is a call to action post. In between those 3 are your regular drumbeat of posts where you're just adding value, okay? But the ones that you're going to choose to boost, the ones that you want to get the biggest return off of, you got to have something that you want them to do. And what's a basic 101 fundamental in marketing, other than picking a target market niche, because being everything to everybody, that's just no good, is having an incentive, right? Have a little bonus, have a download, have something that they get. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to open this up to questions, and I'm going to start with a few questions that came in. All right, and then we'll wrap this up this live. If you have any questions after this, or you're thinking about it, you can post it on the live. It'll be on our Facebook page here. You can also send it into customer service at practicalsocialmedia.com. But also remember, everything that I just went over here, I'm going to look at for you, and you can get involved for $1 today, a $1 10-day trial. So just go to, I'm covering it up there, practicalsocialmedia.com/$, and you'll personally get my advice and help. All right? Okay. If that's an amazing opportunity, I'd love to see some likes coming by here. Even if you're a member of the university, you've got team members, right? You've got friends. Let them know that they can get significant help on what they're doing for $1. Okay? All right. So here's one of the big questions that I have is, where do I start? Okay, and people, you try to jump in, you're like, okay, I kind of know my niche, and you go to like, boom, to write a post. Hey, thanks for all the likes, guys. I appreciate that. This $1 offer, I just started recently doing this. I don't know how long I'm gonna do it, but I appreciate those likes because we're making an investment, right? It takes a lot of time and energy. If any of you on here know, if you send a message in, I will respond to you. My team will respond on technical things. I will respond on strategy things to make sure you're getting it right. All right? But what everybody wants to do is jump in and get right out onto Facebook and boost posts. And you don't want to do the homework, right? Not because you're not willing to, because you get very excited. That's what happened to that woman. She literally just started writing some posts and boosting it out. And then she said, geez, I'm getting actually some good likes on here. So it was a great motivationally, very well-written post. But it didn't do anything for her. She missed the fundamentals. So I said, send me your Facebook ad audience and send me your brand strategy platform. It's a fill-in-the-blank branding that makes you think through every important aspect of your brand. And I guarantee it's going to make you think through areas you've never thought of before. You get this as a member of that university. It's for $1, right? And you fill those things out. Then we know who we're targeting, and what those unmet emotional needs are, what your promise is to them, what kind of credibility you have, all kinds of things. Now we have the foundation, right, to create the three kinds of ads that I was talking about, all right? So that's the biggest thing. Where do I start? Start by doing your homework, right? Let's get this right from the beginning. It will take a lot of heartache away. Do you always use the Power Editor when creating ads? I'm not very confident with this feature. So, by the way, the ad manager and the Power Editor, guess what, are merging. And little by little over time, I keep thinking like, okay, unless you're doing things like in massive and bulk and different things that were only in the Power Editor before all of a sudden came up and you could completely do in the Ads Manager. So in the sake of making things very simple, don't worry about the Power Editor right now. I want you to get these other fundamentals down and not make the mistakes, right? Just do these boosted posts or a like ad. Those two things, you can do it by just literally going right into the Ads Manager. So that's a great question. I just wouldn't worry too much. There's good things in the Power Editor, but they are not the things that are holding you back from success right now, okay? So Mary, that's a really, really great question. And Monica, relationship factors, audience oversights, thanks guys. Lori Bennett, love this. Thank you so much. Lots of info. All right. So Sharon just joined. Sharon is on our team. Sharon, hi. And so when you become a member of the university, you're going to get answers from Sharon or myself. So keep the questions coming in here. Let's see, Elena. How does Facebook know our audience? Based on our posts, comments they make, our profile, and of course, any interest that's marked on their profile. So they know your audience because you tell them your audience, okay? So when you boost a post out or you create a like ad campaign, you pick a very specific audience. You go in and then you tell Facebook exactly who to show this to. Now there is a feature called, what is it? I think it's enhanced interests. What is it? It's a little check mark down at the bottom. Anyways, what it will do is it'll take your starting point And then when you give objectives to Facebook, like I want more engagement or I want Facebook likes, as likes start coming in, they will look at the people in your audience that you defined and that are liking, and then they'll go out to their whole database and they'll say, who are other people that are like those people that are liking? They're taking the action that you wanted to have. So they can enhance your audience. You've got to start with the right audience. And there's no better way than on Facebook to pinpoint your exact target market, your customer avatar. So Elena, if I got what you were asking there, hopefully I answered that right. And oh, makes perfect sense. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Let's see. If you don't have success yet and can't get posts about your products, how do you get sales or recruits? So that's a really good question. So Lori, what ends up happening is what we want you to do is use these tools to create new relationships. If you can have more new relationships, a volume of new relationships with people who trust you, just like your warm market, right? When you started out, all the people that you already knew, guess what? That didn't have anything about, the corporate office or the products or services that are offered there. You just had a relationship. And I have never met a network marketing or a direct sales company that didn't recommend you go after your warm market first, which is absolutely what you should do. The only problem is that warm market will dry up. But it's all about building the relationship. So, like, let's say that you want to do, a boosted post off your Facebook page for a free group. Well, we had, here's one example. There was a teacher reaching out to other teachers, and I didn't know this until I talked to this person, but teachers have a real problem staying hydrated during the day. Yeah. You know why? They don't have a chance to go to the bathroom. They're in front of the kids all the time, so they avoid drinking and drinking water. So this teacher put together a free group for other teachers. It was about how to stay hydrated during the day as a teacher. She had over 300 people join that group the very first month. It's all about creating the relationship. That had nothing to do with the products or services that her company sells. Nothing at all. It was all about creating the relationship. So you're on a social network here, right? If we can get you into a relationship and one-on-one conversations and into private Facebook groups that are sponsored by you and your business specifically to add value to your particular target market niche, then that's a home run, right? Now, and especially if all those people are coming to you, right? Facebook like ads coming to you, boosted posts about your free groups coming to you, then you're spending your time building the relationship, going through the follow-up and conversion stages. You know what to do with a lead. You know what to do with somebody that you have a relationship with. If you don't, that's a whole other area. We should probably do a Facebook Live just on that. So, hey, Sybil, how are you doing? I was on the phone, or not the phone, but going back and forth with Sybil earlier this morning. So Lori, so she created the group, gave value, then contacted them about her business. Absolutely. So she created the group, and inside the group, she saw who was participating, who was the most engaged. That raised those people up as a higher quality lead for her and her business, right? And then from that group, she had a set of next steps. And this is, hey, how to stay hydrated as a teacher is one thing that we can do to help you. Your company changes people's lives. And Lord, I don't know exactly whose company you're within, but there is always a next step that you can add value to that then does start to pave the road to becoming a customer or a team member of yours. Absolutely. So hopefully that answers the question. All right, everybody. So let's do this. Keep those questions coming in. Let me get another questions coming in here. So this was a question, again, about how you put together the audience, okay? And this person wanted to have an audience that was set up to go after two different people on the same Facebook post. So, what she did is she created those separate and must also match areas, but put the different audiences into those two different areas. And I'm like, that doesn't work, right? Because what ends up happening when you click narrow audience, what it's going to show to is people that have to be in each one of those sections. So not, oh, I can reach people that are like this, I'll put them in that section, and I can reach people that are like this. Well, by the way, that's totally contrary to going after a single target market. Okay? But what you want to do is you want to use multiple sections in your audience with multiple requirements that people have to be a part of or interested in, because that narrows them down each and every time. So I ask people, are you Christian? Oh, you're Christian? Put an audience all about being Christian, a bunch of Christian interests. You're a stay-at-home mom? Narrow down further. Put just an audience of interest all around stay-at-home moms or housewives, things like that, right? And then you're recovering alcoholic. Okay, now, boom, click down and create another and must also match section of your audience. Now they have to be a woman of a certain age, living in this area, that is Christian, a stay-at-home mom, and a recovering alcoholic. Does it make sense? I hope so. All right. So I can see I've already gone on the line. I was going to try to get this to a half an hour. If you have additional questions that I haven't gotten to here, please just send them to customer service at practicalsocialmedia.com. But if you learned something today, if you got a takeaway here or a number of takeaways, please go ahead and just give me a like so I know that you really taken something out of this that can help you in your business. And if you want my personal help for literally $1, go to practicalsocialmedia.com/$ for the 10-day trial, and I'll start working with you. And if you're a member of the university right now and you're not sending in your work and we're not working together, then I want to make sure you take advantage of that. You can post into the Facebook group, or you can send a message directly to customer service at practicalsocialmedia.com, and I will personally get back to you. All right? So everybody, thank you very, very much. I'm going to go back, get on the phone with my family as they're grieving the loss of our new little kitty. I mentioned that at the top. Right before I came on here, I discovered that one of our new kittens had just passed away. And our kids they're young. My kids are young. They're 9, 11, and 11. And so they get so wrapped up. They're calling them all, by names, and they're loving on them. So it's a big deal in my family. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to see what's going on there. And I wish everybody a fantastic day, and hope to see you in the university soon. Goodbye, everybody.